Yes, you lot, welcome back to the Louis Talks Footy channel. Today, we're off the back of a massive result at home to Fulham. Manchester City won 3-0. It was a great result, but before I get into it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It massively helps me out. I've seen some really lovely comments in the comment section. It puts a smile on my face, and every time I see a new subscriber as well, it also puts a smile on my face. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe now, and I'm going to get into the video. So listen, it was a great result today, 3-0. We absolutely blew them out of the park in the first half, and in the second half we could kind of take our foot off the gas a little bit, maybe let them come at us a little bit, absorb the pressure they were putting us under. But at the end of the day, 3-0 is a great result, and you cannot argue with that, especially with the first half performance that we put in. This is massive in the title race as well, because this puts the ball back in Arsenal's court. They have to go to Brentford and get a big result there now as well, and that's a difficult place to go. You know, Brentford are a really well-drilled team. They're the type of team that you could see Arsenal slipping up against. This puts the ball back in their court. It closes the gap to 3 points, and now it's Arsenal's job to extend that gap again. It's going to put pressure on Arsenal. They're going to have City in the back of their mind, knowing that we picked up a big result at Anfield against Liverpool, and knowing that we've just blown Fulham away 3-0 as well. That's going to be playing on their mind, and you know, tomorrow, hopefully, that's going to be putting a lot of pressure on them, and they might crumble under that pressure, because City are in a title race. We've been here before. We've done it before. Hopefully, that Anfield result was a turning point in our season, and now we can go on with the momentum of that game and get some big results together. Enough about Arsenal, enough about the title race. Let's get into today's performance, because it was class. Some really great individual performances out on that pitch today. To start off with, I want to talk about one man who's come into Manchester City's side and just solidified it up. You know, he's taken to it like a duck to water. It's Mark Gahey, and I love this guy so much. He's got a bit of Van Dijk about him, if you know what I mean, in terms of a Rolls Royce defender. He's in the right place at the right time every single time. He doesn't put a foot wrong. He's got this cool, calm, composed presence about him. And you just know that if someone's coming up against him, you feel comfortable that Mark Gahey isn't going to let him pass. He's like a brick wall. He's really difficult to beat, and he rarely makes mistakes. And I love Mark Gahey for that. And today was a ringing endorsement for what he has done for City since he's joined, and what he's going to go on to do for City. It's a great shame that we can't play him in the Carabao Cup final against Arsenal. But listen, the rules are the rules, and we can't really complain about that. But Mark Gahey was unreal today. And I think bringing a defender like him into the side, you've now got Kushnov, you've got John Stones, who's probably on his way out in the summer, but you've got Kushnov, you've got Ruben Diaz, you've got Mark Gahey, you've got Gavardiol. If Diaz and Gavardiol get injured like they have, we've got two world-class centre-backs, well, maybe not world-class, but two great centre-backs to back them up. Mark Gahey and Kushnov as well, who's obviously on the rise. He's a great centre-back as well. We saw a cameo from him today at right-back, and he looked so good, so comfortable, so easy transitioning between right-back and centre-back. And obviously Mark Gahey as well. And, you know, I just said then that if Diaz and Gavardiol get injured, you've got Mark Gahey and Kushnov. But for me, the starting centre-back at the moment, if everyone's fully fit, is Mark Gahey. From what I've seen from him, he's been so solid. He was so solid for Palace. He's a vital part of this team now. And Mark Gahey, for me, is the starting centre-back over Diaz and over Gavardiol at the moment. And listen, maybe that's me getting a little bit too excited, but I just think he's so good, and I think he's so calm, he's so composed, and he brings something to City's backline that we've been missing. Mark Gahey, take your flowers. Second guy I want to talk about is Nico O'Reilly, and this guy is so good, man. And every game, he just seems to get better. He just seems to mature. He just seems to grow. I love watching Nico O'Reilly because, again, he rarely puts a foot wrong. And these are the kind of players that you need in a team to just be a calming presence and know that you're not really going to get any mistakes out of these guys. And Nico O'Reilly is definitely one of those players. And I was saying to my dad whilst we were watching the game, I was saying, like, I don't think anyone that I can think of has come through City's academy and become a mainstay and such a spine in the squad the way Nico O'Reilly has since Phil Foden. And even when Phil Foden came through, he's obviously had some really good seasons, but Nico O'Reilly's a different kind of profile. He's a different kind of player. He will put in a 7 out of 10 performance every single game, and you know, he rarely has eyes on him because he's not this glitz and glamour player. You know, he'll crop up with a goal here and there like he has done today, and he took his goal so well. He isn't the type of player to have all the eyes on him. He does his job, and he does it very well, and he does it in a way that doesn't attract a lot of attention. And with what Nico O'Reilly needs to do, he doesn't need to attract a lot of attention. And I feel like the way he does it, the way he goes about his business so easily, so eloquently, is just a ringing endorsement for him as a player. And I think he's playing so beyond his years in terms of his maturity and his composure on the ball. You can see this guy going on to become Manchester City captain. You can see this guy going on to play for England, the captain England. You know, the way that he holds himself and the way he plays football, it's just great to see. So Nico O'Reilly, another amazing performance today, all over the place, cropping up with goals, took his goals so well, you know, chipping the keeper. Nico O'Reilly is the business. And another guy I wanted to talk about as well, another Glaze session coming in, and that's going to be Antoine Semenyo. It's crazy as well because the two signings that City have made in January have come in and they've impacted us so well, and already I'm talking about them as the best players in these games. And Antoine Semenyo, yeah, again, he's played so well today, cropping up with a goal and an assist. The know-how, the nous on the ball to lay that ball off to Nico O'Reilly. There's just a chemistry building in this side and you can feel it coming along. Like I say, Antoine Semenyo is another one that has taken to this team like a duck to water. There's no adaptation time needed. You can trust him to start week in, week out, and his output is great. You know, he's putting up numbers. He's putting up goals and assists, and this is what you're not going to get from Jeremy Doku. They're two different types of players. I love Jeremy Doku as much as the next man, but he's a different type of profile to Antoine Semenyo. It's so refreshing to see someone that is cropping up with goals, that is cropping up with assists on a regular basis. I've just tried to have a little research and I can't find exactly what his goals and assists are for City this season, but I'm pretty sure near enough, or the majority of games he started for Manchester City, he's contributed in a goal or an assist. And that's all you can ask for, especially when Haaland's not been firing, Foden's not been putting up goals and assists. You need someone else that is going to do that. And Antoine Semenyo, he's not the typical winger in the traditional sense of the position. He's not going to fly down the wing and put crosses in. He can do that, but he's also a poacher. He's a striker. He's going to crop up in the right place at the right time in the box, like we saw today, just on the end of things where you need him to be. You know, Haaland, I think he tries to get up for the header. I think he might get saved. Something happens. But Antoine Semenyo is there to pick it up, and he's a poacher. And, you know, we know that Antoine Semenyo has a bit of striker in him. He wants to be a striker, I'm pretty sure. And he can play that role. And we can see that so clearly from the goals that he scored and the assists he's getting so regularly. So listen, Antoine Semenyo has been such a great addition to the squad, and it was never in doubt. You know, seeing what he did at Bournemouth, you know, he's been ripping it up. He's been arguably the best winger in the league this year. So listen, Antoine Semenyo had another blinding performance today. Forget what he does on the ball, forget the goals and assists. His battling and his off the ball work is as good as his on the ball stuff. It's as good as what Pep will ask from him as an attacking player in a Pep system. You need someone that's going to battle, that's going to fight for the ball, that's going to challenge. And Antoine Semenyo more than does that. Erling Haaland as well took his goal very well today. It's good to see him getting back on the score sheet. That's 2-2 now in the Premier League. So hopefully Haaland can find his form again, find his feet, get a bit of confidence back and build some momentum going into the business end of the season. We really need to see him start putting together some really consistent performances again, like he was at the start of the season. Consistent goals, consistent output. Yeah, we need that from Erling Haaland. So great to see him back on the score sheet again today. Well done, Erling. I just want to quickly touch on Ryan Aït-Nouri as well, because this is a profile. This is a guy it's a bit of a different one, right? So he's come into the squad, and I feel like he is probably, I would say, maybe the weaker link today, from what I saw out on that pitch. You know, he has got a little bit of a mistake in him. He maybe can get caught out positionally a little bit, loses the ball at the odd time. But it's so evident to see what he has in his locker and what he can do. And I'm really excited to see that come out of him in the future at Manchester City. You know, we saw today a few times where he tracked back and made a last-ditch tackle. So we know he's got that defensive side of his game, and obviously he goes forward with the ball, and it's very difficult to get it off him. But you know, I thought it was an interesting performance today from Ryan Aït-Nouri, and it's interesting to see him each game, and you know, see what he's bringing to the side. So listen, Ryan Aït-Nouri, I think he's a very good player, and I think he's going to go on to do really good things at Manchester City. It's an interesting one that I want you guys to let me know in the comments what you think about Ryan Aït-Nouri. So listen, overall, it's a great game for Manchester City. You cannot complain. We dropped off a little bit in the second half. You know, people might be saying second half City a little bit. You know, I was feeling a little bit like that in the second half. It was very boring. It was very taking our foot off the gas. It was very absorbing the pressure from Fulham. We can let that happen considering we're 3-0 up by the end of the first half. And listen, we didn't go on to concede. We didn't go on to bottle it. So listen, we can let that off. You know, we rotated a little bit in the second half, took a little bit of the pressure off, maybe rested a few players. So listen, Manchester City, I think we're very much in a title race over to Arsenal.